Hey everyone, welcome back. So today we are diving into a crucial aspect of database management using defined data types when inserting data into SQL from UiPath. Okay, so many times we make a mistake while inserting data into SQL. We create a table in SQL using the normal VARCHAR type and insert all the data, be it as an integer value or datetime value or long or double or float, whatever the value is, we store all the data in the VARCHAR data type only. So this shouldn't be done as we lack in performance issues and all. Basically, we encounter performance issues and it's not efficient to query the data if we are using the same data type in all of the fields which are not relevant actually. Okay, so let's dig deeper into the string data types that are used in SQL. So first we'll learn about char. Char can store strings up to n characters. One thing to note down here is characters shouldn't be misunderstood with bytes. Okay, one character can take more than one byte. So in char data type, if you try to store string greater than n characters, it will throw an error unless the extra characters are spaces. Okay, let's understand this with the help of an example. Say you have defined one column with the data type char of 5. Okay, so in char of 5, uh, I insert my name as just two letters, insert as. Okay, now in char it will be inserted as as space 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 because you have defined the space of 5 characters in this data type. Now, if I want to insert this value, as space, 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 means more than 5 spaces are there, more than 5 characters are there. It will still hold as as space, 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 and it will remove the extra spaces. It will pad all the extra spaces. Now, if I want to insert my whole name in this particular column, since my name is of 7 characters, it will throw an error. Okay, so now you have understood uh, the use of char, where to use char. Okay, now coming to varchar. Varchar is basically the same as char but without padding. Okay, now say you have column name and you have defined it as varchar 5. I want to insert my 3 letters of my first name as asf. It will be stored as asf only with no extra space allocated to spaces. Okay, now if you see in char, extra spaces are allocated to accumulate this whole 5 characters text. Now if you want to store only 3 characters, it will be stored as 3 characters only and not the whole 5 characters. Okay, and if I want to store more than 5 characters in varchar, it similarly as we have seen it in char, it will throw error in varchar as well. Now see, the maximum limit a char or a varchar can hold is like 10 MB. Now it depends on database to database, but generally it stores 10 MB. Okay, and there is no such genuine reason to use char over varchar because in production we use varchar only. There is no such reason to use char because neither it is giving us any performance benefits, not in any efficiency of storage. So there is no genuine reason to use the char instead of varchar. Now here comes the text. Some column we assign it as a text data type. Now it can store strings of any length. Okay, it can store strings of any length. Now when I'm saying any length, it is not a SQL standard, but it depends upon database to database. Like it might be different in Postgres, or it might be different in MongoDB, or it might be different in Postgres, MySQL. So it depends. You'll have to read the documentation for that. Like what's the maximum length of the string that can the text can store. Okay. Also, we cannot create foreign key checks on text columns. Okay, so if we create foreign key, remember the amount of time it's going to take. It will take a huge amount of time to go through all the foreign key checks on each and every characters of the text column. That's why we cannot create foreign key checks, and if we try to create foreign key checks, it will throw an error. That's why text is basically not used. Instead of text, we use varchar max, because in varchar max, even if the max value is like up to some standard, so it can store only that amount of data in which the string is holding. Like if the string is of 10 characters, it will take 10 characters only. Now, how are long text stored on disks? See, smaller strings, even when defined as a text, are stored in line. Like even if you are storing 10 characters, say 20 characters, in the text data type in SQL, it will be stored as an inline only. So larger texts are stored on separate pages to keep the row length shorter. So if there are some larger text like 500 characters or like 1000 characters or 10,000 characters, something sort of that, so it will be basically stored as a separate pages. Hence, it will be less efficient because the lookup time of that long test columns are slightly slower, because for reading multiple pages, definitely it will take some time. Okay, so these are the string data types that should be basically have the knowledge whenever any developer that is dealing with this SQL Server automation. So he or she might be knowing the differences between char, varchar, and text or varchar max. Now,
Okay.
now there is one more data type that is more commonly used in automation is the storing of the date time values. So date time data type is basically stores the date time values. Okay, but sometimes people use varchar to store the dates instead of date time data type. Now what this will it will see, if we use date time values, it will avoid issues like any invalid dates got stored in the varchar, because see, there is no such criteria defined in the varchar to check whether it's a valid date time or not. But if you are taking a date time data type, it will check if this particular string value, or if this particular date is valid date time or not. Okay, so we'll have to take care of this.